Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Who is in his gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit. This is from the Canadian Prepper. It says, breaking news, Los Angeles governor, nuclear World War III preparation, nationwide warning for massive attacks. I was watching this video with this guy, the Canadian Prepper, and he was going into the information on how now governors of these major states and these bigger cities are preparing for particular attacks on American soil because we had the director of the FBI. He'd been coming out since last year speaking on basically there being attacks on American soil from the T word, okay? And, you know, it kind of throws me for a loop because it's just like, how would they know all this, but they don't have the means to stop it, have intel on who's doing it, but you're not stopping it, which causes me to believe that they are, in fact, hitting their own cities. But he was talking about nukes going off in particular cities and pocket nukes, you know, and how it's going to be like a soft, how can I say? He mentioned something about like a soft nuclear attack or something like that, something that's survivable. But according to the scriptures, nobody in Babylon the Great is going to survive this nuclear destruction outside of the elect. So, yeah, they may start off doing small hits there, damaging infrastructures and cutting power and blowing bridges and pocket nukes going off in downtown areas. But that just to kind of bring in the chaos, to bring in the order, so to speak. But really, you know, speaking on the fact that he's talking about he's a prepper, you need to have over 3 days or 6 months or 2 weeks supply of food, which, you know, the average person don't have 6 months of food stored up. Okay. And as far as I know, Jake don't have 6 months of food stored up unless they getting all types of food stamps. But even then, it is like Jake is undisciplined. Okay, like a lot of Jakes don't own homes. They don't own lands. They live in apartments or they're room sharing with somebody or roommating with somebody. So a lot of times the means to have these particular goods are very limited, you know, which we're not saying that you don't get you some extra in case of a rainy day. But overall, man, these preppers are speaking about how prepping is going to survive. Look, it ain't going to be no post-apocalyptic 30-year to rebuild back America once this place is hit. Once this place is hit, it's over with. Okay, and that's the spirit because they released this movie or this TV show called Fallout, which, if you're familiar with the game of Fallout, it goes into basically a post-apocalyptic society when people are living in underground bunkers and shit like that, and there's war and infighting, all that good stuff, okay? And I caught like parts of the first episode yesterday when a nuke went off in the city and everybody pretty much died, but they had the people that survived had to retreat to like these underground bunkers and shit, okay? So it's kind of funny how they putting these movies out now. You know, first you had the what is it? Not The Day After Tomorrow, but what's the name of that damn movie, man? The movie that just came out back in fucking December last year. Something about the world, like leave the world behind. Bingo. You know, and all this other stuff. So, you know, it's safe to say that Esau Edom know that something is on the horizon because ultimately he's the one that's spearheading it through the left-hand side of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? So, Fallout, right? So, let's look here. Fallout, Netflix. Get a synopsis. Let's get a synopsis on this show real quick. Because I started watching some of it yesterday. I didn't watch it all. But anyway, no. Slovakia. That's the wrong Fallout. Here we go. Yep. This is where it is. It says, in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles. And check this out, right? It says, breaking Los Angeles nuclear World War III preparation. Now they want to prepare people for World War III when shit get ready to pop down. But if they were smart, they would have been telling people to get mentally ready for this 30 years ago. But see, this is how they play you people. Okay, you people really believe that you're gonna have a chance on surviving this, and you're not, because you're not of the elect. Okay, that's just point blank, period. And another thing too, if they was preparing, if they was smart, they would have prepared their citizens the funding to build up bunkers and do what they gotta do, even though we know that's gonna be minute and it's gonna pretty much be futile at the end of the day. But regardless of that, man, Yahweh Shemi Shai is showing us, he's showing us the ordeal of what's to come. So it says, in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles brought about by nuclear decimation, citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutes, and bandits. Okay, which once America is hit, that's it. Ain't gonna be no underground fallout shelters here. This is why rich bankers and rich stockbrokers are moving out of Babylon, and they're basically building bunkers in different countries. Okay, because ultimately they know that ultimately they understand that this is gonna hit here in this side of the world. So anyway, let's get a couple of precepts here, because prepping ain't gonna save you. And this is what King David said. This is the book of Psalms 44. And I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 4. It says, "Thou art my king, O power, commander, deliverance for Jacob. Through thee we will push down our enemies, and through thy name will we tread upon them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither should my sword save me." Okay. And the thing of it is, when you listen to these preppers and the things that they talk about, they tell you, you got to have weapons, have food, have 6 months, have 10 years supply of water, have a goddamn fallout shelter. They want you to have water irrigation systems, have generators, but yeah, you stay in a fucking 800 square foot apartment. So he's really not prepping. He's really not talking to you, Jace. They're talking about people that can survive this, because even here in Kansas City, you go 30 minutes outside the city to like Lee Summit and these particular surrounding suburbs, you have a lot of farmland out here. Like literally, Missouri is like the wilderness. Just the way that it is 90% wildlife, with cities that's built in a pocket. But overall, it's a lot of farms out here. There's a lot of people that got cattle, they got fallout shelters. There's a lot of bunkers out here, but overall, the average person can't afford this shit, But it says here, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us." So only how we're surviving is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. Okay, your provisions, like your bunkers, your weapons, that's all good and dandy, and it may get you through temporarily, but any game is not going to save you from when the missiles hit this place. And the crazy part about it is, if these preppers were so smart, and this is why I believe that a lot of these preppers are CIA agents, a lot of them are paid, paid opposition, because ain't no way in hell you're going to be on here. And I understand, you're trying to teach people, but at the same time, half the people that listen to you or on your comment boards, when they don't have the means to survive, they're going to find people like this. You see, it ain't going to be nothing to track this guy down. He may think he's in an undisclosed location, but somebody's already got your IP address. They're already tracking you. You never know. You got people probably looking outside your house now, because they're going to need a means of surviving. So when all hell break loose, you're going to have marauders that's going to go against preppers and preppers against marauders. And then you're going to have common folk. This is going to be a civil war all the way down to the smallest minute level of civilization, man. Okay. From even the homeless fighting each other. Okay. It's going to be crazy, So all that prepping and shit, it ain't going to make it. It ain't going to mean nothing. It ain't going to mean nothing when the Lord really judges this place. As we just read here in Psalms 44. Okay. So, let's go from here to Revelation, the 11th chapter. Because the elect, we going to be all right, if you believe that. If you believe that you're of the elect and we endure to the end, then, we will survive this thing. We ain't going to need no prepping and all this other shit, because the scriptures say when those evils come, be as pilgrims on the earth. So you may be sitting on 10, 15 bags of 20-pound bags of rice. You ain't finna be carrying that shit with you while you on the run. Here you got fucking 5 20-pound bags of rice. That's 100 pounds right there. Who's finna be carrying all that? Okay, some people ain't even gonna make it back to their cribs to get their supplies or their weapons. Like you may be literally coming home from work, and all of a sudden the grid may go down, and then your car, you get stranded on the E-way. Then how you gonna hike back to your crib? You got to go through the city. You got to go through fighting. You got to go through neighborhoods. Shit gonna be barricaded. It's gonna be very, it's gonna be chaotic, man. This is why, hey, man, we gonna be out the way, Lord's will. But this is Revelation 11, and I'm gonna start at verses 11 and 11, and let's start at verses 12. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying, come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud. That's the elect. And their enemies beheld them. Okay. And it says, in that same hour, there was a great earthquake, and a 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the power of heaven. Okay. And that 7,000, or that, what do you call 7,000 men? That just represents a complete number. Because we understand that it's over, 350 something million people here in Babylon. And that's just the people that's documented. This is not talking about the millions of migrants that have come across the border for the last 15, 20 years. You know, so with that being said, man, shit is getting ready to go down. And this scripture says 7,000 men, a complete number of men. So if you ain't of the elect, or if you don't have the means to get up out of here when the destruction come, then you're not going to survive it. Okay, so if you're smart, you'll be building bunkers in different countries, or you just get the hell out of America completely, because the destruction is here. It's coming. Okay. Let's go from here to the book of Psalms. Psalms, what is this? 30, is it 33 or 34? Psalms 30, maybe Psalms 37. Yep, this is the book of Psalms 37. And I'm going to start at verses 16. It says, a little that the righteous man hath is better than the riches of many of the wicked. And when you look at these people, these are the wicked. Okay, they may just be regular law-abiding citizens, but, you know, from my knowledge, I mean, he could be an Israelite, but even then, 2/3 of our people are classified as the wicked. If you got a man that's promoting a message, prepping over having faith through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, then it's ultimately safe to say that the man is of the wicked. Okay, and you got many people that's coming in this spirit. You got Full Spectrum Survivor. You got Patrick Humphrey. You got David Hodges. You got Alex Jones. You got, what's this guy's name? Rand Paul. You got so many of these guys that come in this spirit, and they put out some good information, you know, very informative information. But this is just basically going to be for people that's carnal. Okay, because like I said, man, we ain't prepping for shit. All right, and that's not saying that we're going to be stupid and don't have anything for a rainy day. Like, you know, worst case scenario, you go in your cabinet, you may have a couple bags of rice, some beans, some soup. You know, you may have a couple of canned goods, you know, a couple of cases of water that sustain you through. But that just a means to an end, okay? And they showed you that in that movie, what it's called, The Road, when him and his son came across that bunker. Those people that took the house, the marauders raided the house and killed the people, and they had an underground bunker, which was to sustain him and his son for a short amount of time. But they couldn't stay there. They had to keep moving. Okay, so the water and the food that you have may get you through a certain period of time, but this ain't going to help you in some 30 drawn-out post-apocalyptic scenario. Okay, like they picture the book of Eli. They think that after the smoke clears, people are going to be dwelling in America. No, the scriptures say different. You see? As a matter of fact, we get another precept here. This is Psalms 37. And, it says, 17, it says, for the arms of the wicked should be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous, and we're the righteous. And the wicked, the arms represents the strength, you see. And it reads, it says, for the Lord knows the days of the upright, and their inheritance should be forever. And it says, they should not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied. So while you people fucking prepping, which the spirit has you doing that, because men like us, we have to eat, have to feed families, you know, our wives, our children, other brothers, you know, ourselves, you know. And on top of that, you know, Isaiah 4:1, you want to have women that's going to be clinging to you. So how the hell we going to survive through this thing if we don't have the necessary provisions? These men, the Lord set up men like this to prep. So when all hell breaks loose, hey, we going to be pretty much chilling, you know, for some time being. Not saying that we ain't going to go through things and have to encounter certain situations, but overall, once, you know, we get settled, hey, how about Shimi Hawashai is going to take care of us in that day? Okay, no brother going to go hungry for no 2-3 weeks and dying of dehydration. And no, man, though our faith will be tested. And it says, but the wicked perish And enemies of the Lord should be as the fat of lambs, and they should consume away, and into smoke should they consume away. Okay? So that's what it is. You people are not going to survive this shit. I don't give a damn how quote unquote prepared you think you really are. None of you ain't prepared for the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? And righteously so. What is it? Isaiah 13 and let's start at verses 13 and let's start at verses 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. Now, this is talking about America. This is a future prophecy. This hasn't happened yet. And it reads, it says, and shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and it should never be inhabited again. So what is this whole post-apocalyptic shit y'all talking about? Book of Eli shit. No, man, ain't nobody going to be here once the smoke clears. This place is going to get decimated from point A to point Z. All right, you ain't coming out of no bunkers and rebuilding a goddamn thing. Once Yahweh Shai destroys this place, you Edomites are getting grabbed up and you getting thrown headfirst into captivity. Okay, and this can happen in a very short while. Lord's will. You know, because Esau is really trying to put the squeeze on brothers, man. And it's to the point like, look, enough is enough. All right. But it says it should never be inhabited again. Neither should it be dwelt in from generation to generation, meaning that cuts the 30-year apocalyptic shit. You know, I'm just using that for an example because after every end of the world movie is always a post-apocalyptic setting. You know, like people say, oh, well, when the American economy collapsed, you know, about 30 years it's going to take for us to get back up and rebuild. Look, man, the banks, when this shit goes down and they institute the MOTB, that's end game. And these Edomites don't know that because they're on a low level and they don't believe in the scriptures. Okay, they believe that they're destined to be in power forever. And this is the end of the so-called white man's world. And they know that shit. You know, and it says here, it should never be inhabited again. Neither should it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither should the Arabian pitch tent there. Neither should the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses should be full of doleful creatures, and owls should dwell there, and satyrs should dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands should cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant places or palaces. And it says, and her time is near to come, and her days should not be prolonged. This is a future prophecy, man. So you can forget about, oh, well, when we clear the smoke. No, the smoke ain't going to clear, bro. Okay, the elect and the elect only is going to be the survivors, the 144 and the 1/3 of that great multitude. They're the only ones that's getting out of America once this shit hits the fan. All right. 2nd Esdras 15, and let's start at verses 57. It says, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city should be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. I mean, you country dwellers, you people that prep out in the country, the rural areas, it's going to reach you too. And it reads, and it says, and they that be in the mountains should die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Because when you go down in them bunkers, man, those of you Americans that's prepping, you ain't going to have no means to it. Okay, you're going to get overwhelmed, you're going to run out of the city, you ain't going to be able to take shit with you. And the little that you do have is going to get taken, or you may consume it, but you ain't going to have no enough to get you over until the missiles come. Because once this goes down, once the economy collapses, the grid shuts down, the famine comes, the chip comes, then shortly after that, the destruction's coming. So let's just say if everything happened, let's just say, and I'm just giving a false time frame, but let's just say if everything took place on the 1st of next year, not saying it will, but I could say if everything happened on time, we can be out of there by the end of the year. Because I could see Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai speeding things up, because things are going to get that much more worse. Okay, once society collapses, things are going to start happening. Shit going to go crazy. The Lord is going to have to really speed the time and days up. So days in Jacob's trouble going to be like mere minutes. You know, and before you know it, scriptures say, look up, your redemption draweth nigh. So that's the time. We have that on our side, the time. And it says, should die of hunger and eat their flesh and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and the thirst of water. All right. And it says, as thou as unhappy shall come through the sea and receive plagues again. Okay. So this shit is getting ready to go down, man. But hey, I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you were edified. Until the next lesson.